We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
I'm former Major League pitcher Andy Pettitte. I teamed up with Tunnel to Towers after seeing their life-changing work with military and first responder families. Now we're expanding our mission to help veterans struggling with homelessness. We want to help them rebuild their lives not only by giving them a home, but by providing the services they need. Please join me in donating at t2t.org.
My name is Wally Joyner. I was a first baseman for the Angels, Padres, Royals, and Braves. I give the Tunnel to Towers because of what they provide for the veterans, the military, the first responders, the police, the firemen who go out and put their lives in danger for our freedoms. I think it's an incredible charity, an incredible foundation. Their goals of helping the families that protect us. I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The foundation is committed to delivering mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responder families with young children. Never forget.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse through Sunday, September 22nd. The closing weekend action will feature the Dark Mirage Stakes for fillies and mares. Plus, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool on Saturday afternoon if there's not a carryover. Our on-track handicapping contest is set for this Saturday. You could win a seat to the National Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. Our daytime thoroughbred meet continues with great racing through Sunday, September 22nd.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this almost Friday, Thursday. It is Thursday morning here in Las Vegas. We come to you live and direct from this gaming capital, from the studios of South Point, the South Point studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in the gaming capital, Las Vegas. We welcome you to the show. And, of course, we welcome all of you that go to YouTube. You get to YouTube, you punch in South Point Studio in the search bar, you'll get to our page, and then all you have to do is hit subscribe. If you want to subscribe, It's free of charge, and then you can start chatting on the chat room. And there's guys already doing a lot of chatting on the chat room. And on the chat room, we have a lot of the listeners that do some of their own handicapping on there, too. So that's what you can do. YouTube, South Point Studios, hit subscribe when you get there, and you can watch and listen to our show and chat away on the chat room as well. And, of course, all of you listening here in Las Vegas on the radio at our anchor radio station, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM. I want to remind you that on those stations here in town, they're exclusive broadcasting of the USC football games in college football and the Rams games in the NFL. And those on Sports Talk 1400 AM. And, of course, our website streaming at racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global, iPhone, Android with the apps. Get the YouTube app. You can watch us and listen to us on that. And, of course, the KSHP app. You can listen to us running around town if you want to on your radio. And, of course, or on your phones, I should say. I don't even know why we call them phones anymore. Your devices, your iPhones and your Androids. And, of course, anywhere you get your podcasting as well. We welcome you to the show. We were talking yesterday on the show about the big racing card, the big weekend coming up on Saturday at Parks Racing. Not only will they have the two $1 million races, the Pennsylvania Derby and the Cotillion, which, of course, will be competitive races. At least the Pennsylvania Derby will. The Cotillion looks like it's Torpedo Anna's to win and or lose on her own. But in any case, outside of that, they have 11 complete stakes races at Parks Racing on Saturday, which means there's 9 other big stakes races going on Saturday at Parks Racing. When we get together with Jonathan Ardoon in just a bit, we'll be taking a look at 2 of the races there that seem to be really competitive. That is the Turf Monster and the Sprint that will also be held on Saturday. In addition to that, Gulfstream Park will have a Breeders' Cup winner in, the Princess Rooney for the filly and mare division, as part of 4 stakes races at Gulfstream. Churchill Downs will kick in with a Grade 3, and, of course, Los Alamitos will feature the Dark Mirage, and, of course, Woodbine de Zadricarta. So we have a lot to cover for this weekend coming up, and, of course, Los Alamitos will have its last 3 days of its meet, its short meet, and that'll begin tomorrow, be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then they'll switch over to Santa Anita for their big fall meeting that will be stacked right up in front on the first weekend of the meet on the 28th of September with the California Crown Day of Racing there. So we have a lot to look forward to. After all, as we check the clock, we only have 43 days, 4 hours, 31 minutes, and 24 seconds and counting until the Breeders' Cup. So we got to get started on that. And, of course, we're making plans now for our Breeders' Cup special here at the South Point Studios network that you'll only be able to get the Breeders' Cup Race Day Las Vegas Breeders' Cup special on the South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube. So if you're planning on being with us for that big one, you might, and you haven't joined us yet on YouTube, you might want to check it out beforehand so you're comfortable with getting to YouTube and watching the show there. And, of course, we'll have Jonathan Hardoon and John Lindo, our 2 handicappers for the seminar that we'll be doing on the Friday of Breeders' Cup. Remember, Breeders' Cup is Friday, November 1st, and Saturday, November 2nd. Right after the races on November 1st, we'll be doing the Breeders' Cup seminar for the big day Saturday in the lounge here, right next to the race book. And, of course, the Grandview Lounge. And, of course, we will have Jonathan and John on stage here live. You can come and join us there as well. And then, of course, the next day, the big ballroom will be open for all of the action on Breeders' Cup Saturday. But as far as the Breeders' Cup Race Day show, we're planning on now either doing it on the Wednesday before Breeders' Cup or Thursday. We're still not sure about that. We believe that maybe if we did it on Wednesday, you'll have a couple of days before the Breeders' Cup to, do all of your assessing and everything else. But we'll wait and see about travel plans, etc., for our handicappers for that. But stay tuned. Breeders' Cup week is going to be a big week here on the South Point Studios network, the Race Day Las Vegas shows, and, of course, right here at the South Point. All righty. Today we have Jonathan Hardoon with us, and, of course, Rich Ang will be back with us. We got a Thursday night NFL game to start already Week 3 in the NFL. So we'll get Richie's take on tonight's NFL game as well as a pick. John Lindo will be with us, and so will Jerry Jackowitz. Of course, we have racing at both Churchill Downs and Aqueduct today as the two big tracks on the menu. And a few other things that I wanted to go through. We want to congratulate Alex Cruz. Alex Cruz won the jockey title at Emerald Downs for the 5th straight year with 64 wins at Emerald Downs. They closed up on Sunday. Alex Cruz, his 5th straight jockey title there. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to trainer Justin Evans, who for the 2nd straight year won the trainer's title with 63 wins. So congratulations to them. We're looking at Aqueduct today. We had one full first week of Belmont at Aqueduct since they started with the Belmont fall meeting. And in the first week, the opening week, only 7 out of 30 races were won by favorites at Belmont at Aqueduct. So we'll wait and see. And as a result of that stat, you have a carryover in the pick 6 today at Aqueduct left over from Sunday's Belmont at Aqueduct card. So it'll be kind of fun to get involved in the pick 6 there at Belmont at Aqueduct today. As far as anything else, as far as the Breeders' Cup horses are concerned, remember Jonathan's Way, who won big in a juvenile race recently, is going to train up to the Breeders' Cup now. We'll have no more races. He'll be training up to the Breeders' Cup for the Breeders' Cup there. Remember, we're getting close to the Breeders' Cup, and it'll start getting exciting. And we're getting close to the great weather that we have in the fall, just before we start into the cold winter. In the fall, we're right in that little pocket right now here in Las Vegas. 65 degrees right now outside. It's beautiful. And we're going to get up to 89 degrees. Our 100-degree weather seems to be over, at least for the foreseeable future, certainly for this weekend. This is going to be the parameters for this weekend. 65 overnight and into the morning. And, of course, 89 degrees, maybe 90 degrees in the afternoons here in Las Vegas. But let's take a look at, as far as the rest of the country is concerned, we're taking a look at the temperatures around the country. Miami, 87. New York City, 85. So, it's, this is really neat weather across the country. Chicago, 88. And even in Phoenix, Arizona, they won't get to 100. 98 degrees today there. In Southern California, 74. And it looks like the weather is going to be fine as far as precipitation is concerned around the country. Got some action going on of a mix between rain and snow, believe it or not, in the northern part of the Sierras in California and parts of the northern part along those Sierras, the northern part of Nevada, but not here at all. And the rest of the country looks pretty darn good for racing today across the country. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So with any further ado, we're going to go to our first break, reminding you that get to YouTube, get to the South Point page, and click on Race Day, and then start chatting away on the chat. You can see us, hear us, and chat away. Make sure you subscribe, though. I want you to make sure you subscribe. It's free. We'll be right back.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse through Sunday, September 22nd. The closing weekend action will feature the Doc Mirage Stakes for fillies and mares. Plus, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool on Saturday afternoon if there's not a carryover. Our on-track handicapping contest is set for this Saturday. You could win a seat to the National Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. Our daytime Thoroughbred meet continues with great racing through Sunday, September 22nd.
Alrighty, back on race day for this almost Friday, Thursday show. Taking a look at what happened yesterday. The big feature race yesterday at Delaware Park, the Obia, was won by Evidencias. Jamie Rodriguez riding for Christophe Clement, winning that stakes race at Delaware Park yesterday, paying $13.20. Venti Valentine was second. Saddle Up Jesse, the horse that Richie gave out his pick in that race, ran third in the feature race there at Delaware Park. As far as Churchill Downs was concerned, Churchill Downs, we had a couple of jockeys that had 2 wins apiece. James Graham won 2 races with trainer Keith DeSormo. Keith DeSormo and James Graham teamed up for 2 wins yesterday at Churchill Downs. They won the third race with Colomio at $4.12, and the last race, the ninth, with Optical, they paid $14.20. As far as the other jockeys having 2 wins on the day, Jamie Torres won a couple of races, and so did Tyler Gaffleone. Gaffleone's second win was aboard a Belmont trainee, Bilal, that won the 8th race at $5.64. A lot of favorites winning yesterday at Churchill. Biggest priced winner came in the 7th race, $26.40. Everything else on the card, except for the last race that paid $14.20, everything else on the card paid less than $6. Well, I take it back, less than $10 to win on the card. They were a lot of short-priced winners. Jonathan Ardoon, no harm, no foul. His horse, his pick got scratched at Churchill yesterday. It was a late scratch at Churchill Downs yesterday. All right, time to get started with the menu of racetracks available today in the racebook, simulcast centers, and racetracks around the country. Reminding you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on this menu each and every day. Reflect that at the Pacific time zone because that's where we're at here in Las Vegas, here at the South Point Studios. These will be the first post times that roll out right in the racebook, right behind us here at South Point. We are in the Pacific time zone. And of course, all of you listening around the country, around the world really, in different time zones, just adjust to the Pacific time zone from whatever one you're in, and you'll be okay. You'll get it right. You won't miss anything on time as well. Yeah, okay? I'm watching to miss anything. All right. We begin with Delaware Park. Delaware Park has 8 races today, and their first post time is at 9:30. 9:30 at Delaware Park today. Following that comes Belterra Park. Belterra Park has the first post time for 8 races at 9:35. Belmont at Aqueduct. Remember, Belmont at Aqueduct has a pick 6 carryover today. Their pick 6 carryover today. They have a steeplechase stakes race, a grade 1 steeplechase stakes race to open the card. It is the grade 1 Lonesome Glory Stakes for $150,000 at 2 1/2 miles on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. They'll go over the hurdles there in the first race today. 7 go to the post in the best of the steeplechase horses, and La Imperator is the 9-5 favorite there in the opener, the Lonesome Glory. And then, as they say, the flats will be races 2 through 9, which means the pick early pick 4 and early pick 5 will commence in the second and be completed in the 6th race today at Aqueduct. Keep that in mind. And you got 9 races overall, the hurdles, and 8 flat thoroughbred races with the first post time at 10:05. 10:05, first post at Belmont at Aqueduct today, and their first post time again, 10:05, with a pick 6 carryover at Aqueduct from Sunday of $48,658. Aqueduct, first post time, 10:05. All right, next comes Horseshoe Indianapolis. They have 11 races, 8 thoroughbreds, and then you've got 3 quarter horse races, and they're all stakes races. All 3 of the last stakes races, quarter horses at Horseshoe Indianapolis are stakes races. The 10th race on the card, I should say, is the quarter horse derby at 400 yards for 3-year-olds. So you got 8 thoroughbreds, 3 quarter horses make up the 11 race card, and a first post time of 11:10 at Horseshoe Indianapolis today. Following that comes Hawthorne Racecourse, Chicago. 9 races. First post time is 12:10 at Chicago. Woodbine, north of the border. They've got 8 races today at Woodbine, and they've got a super high 5 jackpot carryover standing at $8,772. And that's at Woodbine today. Super high 5 jackpot, $8,772. 8 races. First post time is at 1:50. Churchill Downs has 8 races today in Louisville, Kentucky. Churchill Downs has a first post time of 2 p.m. Their pick six jackpot carryover stands at $142,817. $142,817 in the Churchill Downs pick six jackpot carryover. They also have a super high five, a regular super high five carryover from yesterday. And that super high five carryover is $7,698. First post time at Churchill for 8 races, 2 o'clock this afternoon. They got a twilight post time there, 2 o'clock first post there. Canterbury Park is next. Canterbury Park has 8 races. Their first post time is at 3:10 at Canterbury Park. Charlestown has a pick six jackpot carryover, $6,594. They've got 8 races. First post time is at 4 p.m. And then we have Remington Park that wraps it up. Remington Park's 9 races in the first post time of 4:30. And that is the racing menu for today. Now it's time to get to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
Doing fine. Now, the temperature here right now outside is 65 degrees, which is more like maybe the temperatures around your part of the country.
Yeah, it may be a little cooler here. I think it's in the low 60s, so it's beautiful, though. It's amazing. Since Saratoga closed, I think we had 1 day of rain. All the rain came during the meet, and after the meet ended, the weather got beautiful.
Jonathan, before we get to take a look at some of the two of the more competitive undercard stakes races at Parks, with 11 stakes races overall on Saturday, and of course the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby, the $1 million each highlights of the 11 race card. Just want to ask you, I know you're doing a sheet for Churchill Downs, and it's been going for a little bit now. Anything that we should know about Churchill Downs as far as handicapping out of the ordinary?
Well, it's been a little more speed favoring than usual. Usually the track is a little fairer, but, there is no turf racing, so that throws a monkey wrench into it, especially if you like turf racing. They have no turf racing. They spent $11 million on a turf course, and they can't use it, so that's not good. It's fine. It's a good racing. The fields, for the most part, are pretty full. You don't have any trainer dominating, like they have at other tracks. So it's a little bit of something for everybody. And again, look for speed. Speed seems to be the way that it's been going recently.
Well, we'll certainly take a look at that. And of course, it seems like the usual characters. You got James Graham. To me, has always been a great long shot rider on that circuit. Now I know and as a matter of fact, he had one of the more higher priced winners yesterday in the last race at 14:20. But James Graham always seems to be a good value rider in races that are competitive and open.
He flies under the radar, Ralph. When he first came up and he was a bug, I think he was really, a top-notch rider that got a lot of mounts, and I guess he got hurt, and then he came back slowly, but he's fine. I mean, I have no problem betting a James Graham horse. Gives 100% every time, and he's a good, strong rider. He really is. He just needs the opportunities.
Well, now let's take a look at some of the big undercard stakes races at Parks Racing. And, of course, you told me that you liked 2 races that you were really interested in. One of them is the Turf Monster Stakes on the turf. It's the 10th race on the card at Parks, and it's got a field of 14. The also eligibles are 11 through 14, so there's 4 also eligibles and 10 in the body of the field, going 5 furlongs on the turf for $250,000, I might add. It looks like a pretty darn good race.
It does. I give the edge to Semby over there. That's a Christopher Clement 5-year-old gelding. He gets a rider switch today. Irad Ortiz is going to climb aboard for the first time. I think the race sets up well for him. He's got enough speed to stay close, and I think he's going to get first run. He's 7-2, but I like him clearly the best in there. And on Saturday, we'll give you some hookup horses with him for exactas.
Okay, and that is, of course, again, the 10th race on the card. And as we said, it's a big day of racing there. The other one that you like, that you wanted to comment on, is the Sprint. And the Sprint, I do believe, is, what race is that? That's the last...
14th and final race.
Yeah, that's the last race on the card, the Sprint. And that thing has a $100,000 purse. And, of course, at a sprint distance of 6.5 furlongs, and a field of 11 goes in that one. And that's pretty wide open, too. So much so that the morning line favorite, Super Chow, is 7-2 with IRAD aboard for Delgado.
Yeah, I really like a horse in there, Ralph. The number 5 horse Recruiter is really getting good now. His last 3 races, he was gelded prior to his return to the races as a 4-year-old, and all 3 of his races since being gelded are good enough to get the job done here. Jay Rodriguez aboard for Cat Lynch, 6-1 on the morning line. I think you'll get every bit of it, and I really like this horse in this spot. He's just getting better with each start, and he's good at the right time. He's also, he's run at Parks in the past, so I think that's an edge. You like playing horses that have run over that track. It's a hard track to ship into and win.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a lot of things going for him, and I think you'll get every bit of the 6-1.
All right, and of course we will go over what you have your thoughts about these stakes races during the week. When we get to Saturday's program, we'll just reiterate for the Saturday show the thoughts about those big stakes races that you like at Parks Racing. That's for sure. And of course, again, we know that the takeout is, you know.
It's a killer there.
It's a disadvantage for players, but it is a big day there. And if we can put together some picks and plays, we can take some money out of Parks and just move on next week at someplace else.
Yeah, play it for the one day a year where they really have a terrific card, and But as a general rule, people don't like playing into those high takeout tracks, and I don't blame them. There is no edge in doing that.
Now, of course, you have done Gulfstream Park in the past with your sheets, and I know that Gulfstream has a Breeders' Cup win in your race on Saturday, the Princess Rooney. So maybe we can talk about that on Saturday as well. At least that one race there. And of course, you have sheets that you cover for Churchill, Belmont at Aqueduct. You've got, like I said, Gulfstream Park, and also Southern California with Los Alamitos. So I imagine.
Yeah, and Saturday we're gonna add Parks into the mix for Saturday since they drew so early, and it gives us a couple of days this week when it's light. There aren't many tracks going, so you get an opportunity to handicap another track. So we're going to give everybody Parks as well.
All right, good. You'll be a busy Poiskin. That's for sure. Now, I'm going to get to your biggest expertise in handicapping the races, the biggest expertise you have, Jonathan, and that is handicapping steeplechase horses.
Automatic pass for me.
It is.
I don't get involved.
It is a big race today, though, the Lonesome Glory, and I guess the big favorite that everybody will be looking at is Lion Pator, so we'll wait and see about that. But if you see the first race, folks, and you see horses jumping fences, don't panic. That's what they're supposed to do. Any other race
By the way,
on the
it's down
day?
to a field of it's down to a field of 5. You have a couple of late scratches in there. The 2 and 4 are both coming out. So if you're jumping, you only have to jump against 5 horses as opposed to 8 or whatever 7, I should say.
Well, that's good news. Yeah, and all I can say is that if you see horses jumping fences in any of the other races, then there will be trouble. Otherwise,
Then we got problems.
yes. All right. Well, yesterday your horse got scratched, so no harm, no foul there. And we'll take some picks from you today.
All right, let's look at the 8th race today at Aqueduct, Belmont at Aqueduct. And again, there is a pick 6 carryover. It's $1 pick 6, so keep that in mind.
Mhm.
Last 6 races. Anyway, 8th race today, I got a single for everybody. The number 2 horse, First Class Act. 4-year-old filly from the Lindo Rice Barn. Flavian Pratt's in town, so he'll ride. This horse is an improving filly. She's coming off of a layoff since July 18th. She's won at Aqueduct 3 for 8. She's 3 for 5 at the distance. Again, 6-1 in the morning line. I like number 2, First Class Cat, to win today's 8th race out at Belmont Park.
Okay, I would assume that Flavian Pratt is going to probably move on to Keeneland, you think, for that little...
Yeah, he's definitely going to Keeneland for sure. But in the interim, he'll be at Belmont, I guess.
So he'll be here, and then he'll go to Keeneland. I would think that on September 28th, though, he'll probably be in Southern California for that big, California Crown Day.
Yeah, he gets all over. It's amazing. These guys ride on different parts of the country, and it's amazing how hard they really have it. Not easy to run in California today and be back in New York tomorrow, but they've done it the whole summer, and they continue to do it now.
Well, all I can say is they got a lot of frequent flyer miles coming, that's for sure. And in the 8th race today at Aqueduct, Flavian Pratt is in New York. He's at Aqueduct today for Belmont at Aqueduct. And in the 8th race, you like the 2, First Class Cat, and the 2 in the 8th race there. Anything else?
Yeah, let's go to Churchill, look at their 8th and final. It's a night card, well, late in the afternoon for you guys. I think 2 o'clock is post. 8th and final, I like the number 11 horse in here, End of Innocence. 3-year-old filly from the Steve Hoppy barn, Martin Garcia aboard to ride. This horse has 3 races this year, 2 of them on a wet track, not so good. One and only race on a fast track. She ran a huge race that day. Fast track today, draws a good outside box, 7-2 on the morning line. I like number 11, End of Innocence, to win today's 8th and final out of Churchill Downs.
Martin Garcia aboard the 11 horse, End of Innocence. Let's end the day with a winner there at Churchill Downs. 8th race on the card, the EO11, End of Innocence is your play. Don't forget, you can get full sheets for Churchill and Belmont at Aqueduct right now at Jonathan's website.
JONHARDOON.com. Thank you, Ralph. Stay safe and be well. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, you got it, my man. All right, coming up next on the Race Day Show, we'll mix in a little bit of football. Of course, an NFL game tonight starting week 3 in the NFL, and we'll ask Rich Eng about that matchup, plus getting a pick from him as well for horse racing. So don't go away. We will be right back.
Thank you, buddy.
There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Everybody knows where the money's going, every single dollar. God bless you. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting t2t.org.
Hello, I'm Dennis Quaid. For years, Tunnel to Towers has demonstrated a commitment to first responders and military families. They've paid off mortgages and built specially adapted smart homes. Now the foundation is expanding its mission to eradicate veteran homelessness. Please give our veterans a chance to reclaim their dignity by donating at t2t.org.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style Paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
All righty, back on Race Day at Las Vegas. Time to go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Well, we start week number 3 in the NFL. We're already into starting the 3rd week in the NFL, and there have been quite a few surprises in the first 2 weeks. But tonight we have a matchup with Aaron Rodgers being on national TV, of course, and we'll wait and see. Of course, that's on Prime, but most people have that already. So how do you see the game tonight?
Well, it looks like a real interesting matchup to me. It's division rivals in the AFC East. A couple things. One angle with the New England Patriots. They were one of the most popular teams, Ralph, that was bet in the over-under win total for the season. They were bet under. They opened up at 5.5 by the bookmakers. They got bet down to 4.5. And if you watch their first 2 games, they beat the Bengals in Cincinnati, and then they lost in overtime to Seattle. So they've been very competitive. And the key strategy is they play very close to the vest. They run the ball 71 times in 2 games, which is among the most in the National Football League. They're averaging 4.7 yards a game rushing, but they've only thrown the ball for 270 yards with Jacoby Brissett, so their angle is pretty clear. Run the ball, run the clock, keep the game tight, and see if we can figure something out in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the New York Jets have been a little underwhelming. They were manhandled by San Francisco in the opening game, and then they did beat the Titans last time out, but Will Levis kind of handed them the game, Ralph. One of the angles that I'm going to be betting on is the fact that the Jets are playing their 3rd football game in 11 days, which is kind of difficult for any team at any level. So I'm going to go with the New England Patriots minus 6.5. You can get that right here at the South Point. Plus 6.5. I'm sorry. New England Patriots are plus 6.5 right here at the South Point.
And so you're going to take the points and hope it stays close.
Exactly. Patriots are going to run the football. They've only thrown 50 passes this year, Ralph, which is the second lowest in the National Football League. The only team that's thrown less passes total in the first 2 games is the Chargers, who've thrown less with Justin Herbert. So I just expect them to try to keep the game close and try to figure something out in the fourth quarter.
All I can say is seeing the Chargers not throwing the ball more than they have so far this year is one of the surprises, I think, of the first 2 weeks of the NFL. Your horse ran 3rd in the big stakes race yesterday at Delaware Park, but you have another choice today. I want to remind everybody, too, that Richie Yang does a Southern California handicapping sheet when they're racing at Southern California, which means tomorrow he'll have a complete sheet for Los Alamitos. And at times you put together what you call a simulcast sheet where you, comb the nation on those off days at other racetracks to find some picks that you like in those. And you also have a simulcast sheet available on occasion, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to give it away free, just like I did last week. If people just email me at rich_ing@hotmail.com or rich_ing at yahoo.com, I will send it to you for free. I sent out about 15 sheets last week, and if people email me again, I'd be happy to send it to them for free for today.
All right, today you have a simulcast sheet, and we're going to get a pick for the show off of that simulcast sheet.
Race 6 at Churchill Downs, Ralph. It's a first level allowance, and Brad Cox is one of the top trainers in the country. It's very seldom you get him at 6-1 in a race like this. But the number 3, Kinetic, broke the maiden last time out. Luis Saez takes over, but this is a homebred from Godolphin, so the pedigree is right. This is meant to be a good animal. We'll need to improve off the speed figure last time out, but this horse has pedigree out the wazoo, Ralph. 6-1 is a generous price. Let's go with the 3, Kinetic, in race 6.
All right, 6th race for all the reasons Richie just stated. In the 6th race, you like number 3, Kinetic. The 3, Kinetic. In the 6th race is your selection there. And, of course, you'll take the Patriots plus the points tonight. And the rest of what he has to offer is on that Simo sheet that you can get for free. Again, tell him where, Richie?
Yeah, just email me at rich_ing@yahoo.com or rich_ing@hotmail.com. I'll email it to you for free.
All right, you got it. Thanks a lot for the offer, and thanks a lot for your thoughts on the game and some racing today. And we will talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All righty, we come up next to wrap up the show with John Lindo and Jerry Jackowitz, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit continues at Los Alamitos Racecourse through Sunday, September 22nd. The closing weekend action will feature the Doc Mirage Stakes for fillies and mares. Plus, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool on Saturday afternoon if there's not a carryover. Our on-track handicapping contest is set for this Saturday. You could win a seat to the National Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. Our daytime thoroughbred meet continues with great racing through Sunday, September 22nd.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this almost Friday, Thursday. Now we go out to Southern California where John Lindo is about to jump in his car and drive up here for the weekend. John, good morning.
Car's packed. We're ready to go, and I'll see you later on today.
All right, John. And, of course, you'll be in studio with me both Friday and Saturday, and maybe we can even get you out here on Sunday morning before you head on back. But in any case, we got a kind of a different type of a weekend coming up for horse racing. And some tracks that are not normally premier tracks that we talk about all the time, but where the big money goes, the big races are, we certainly will have a spotlight on that. And, of course, we have the last 3 days of the short Los Alamitos meet as well, with the feature race there on Saturday as well at Los Alamitos. You do a Churchill sheet every once in a while, and you have one today for Churchill Downs. And as you normally do, when you start out a week covering a racetrack, you usually update people on what's happening with the trainers and the jockeys and the standings and all that. So for the short Churchill Downs meet, who's gotten a fast getaway?
Yeah, they've just started like Los Alamitos, and Tyler Gaffalione won 2 races yesterday. He's now the leading rider. He's got 8 winners. Luis Saez is second with 7, and it's a ways back to the rest, including Brian Hernandez and Luan Machado. They've each got 3 wins. Brian Hernandez will be riding Torpedo Anna Saturday at Parks, so we won't see him on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. What about the trainers?
Trainers, again, very bunched up. You've got Steve Asmussen, Kenny McPeak, and Joe Sharp each have 3 winners. And as far as the riders, too, the one stat that jumped out to me, Jose Ortiz through yesterday is 0 for 25 to start the meet.
Wow, that's going to change, you know that. But, man, Jose Ortiz 0 for 25, that's a big, everybody goes through these slumps, but that's a slump that's kind of glaring for sure. Now, you've got a Lindo report for today at Churchill Downs, and it's here at the South Point free of charge. This is the only place in this gaming capital that you can get a Lindo report. It's here at the Racebook at South Point, covering all the races, selections, and all the races. A suggested late pick 4 on the sheet as well, and of course, all the goody information we just talked about. It's all available on the Lindo report, complete and concise. The Lindo report is available here at the South Point in the Racebook, free of charge to you, the race players, because they love race players here for sure. And you've got it for today at Churchill Downs, but it's here every day that you do a Lindo report, wherever it's at, here at the South Point, and complimentary here. Only here, too. All right, John, speaking of Churchill Downs in your sheet, where are we going with the pick?
Let's go right to the opener today. It's at 2 o'clock Pacific first post time at Churchill Downs. In the first race, number 1, Benevolence didn't show much on a really hard turf course over at Ellis Park going 5 furlongs. Throw that race out, drops him for a claiming tag, came back to work very well with blinkers. Blinkers on today, related to 3 route winners from a barn that does very well with second-time starters. Also drops in a tag. A lot of reasons to think this is go time today. 8-1 on the program. Number 1, Benevolence, race number 1, Churchill Downs.
All right, the one-horse Benevolence at 2 o'clock Pacific time, starting out the day with a winner. That, of course, you'll start out the early pick 5. And the first double of the day, too, in the first race, number 1, Benevolence. Easy to remember, first race, number 1, John Lindo's pick for the race day listeners, and the rest, of course, right here at the South Point. John, I got to tell you that there's been a lot of conversation about Santa Anita and the California Horse Racing Board having another meeting today about continuing to cut purses to try to shore up the deficit they've been having in paying off purses in Southern California. And Santa Anita, when the meet comes up, is going to have another purse cut that's coming up for the meet that's coming up next week. And a lot of people think that maybe, doing a California Crown Day and putting millions of dollars into one race or one race day, et cetera, should be a little bit spread out a little bit more for the horsemen in Southern California, especially when they're cutting those purses.
Well, yeah, the condition book is out for the first couple of weeks of Santa Anita, and it looks in general like the purses are going to be down about 10% from last year. And I can't argue with the fact that people are a little bit taken aback that, we're going to run this California Crown Day next Saturday, a week from this Saturday, with $1 million purse in the California Crown, and they're going to bump up races like the Eddie D down the hill to $750. Now, that money is not coming out of the purse account. The added money is all being put in by the First Racing Group. It wouldn't have bothered me one bit to see that money put into the regular purse accounts to help keep the daily product going. The costs aren't going down to keep horses in training for all people, and to kind of, lay that money out. I understand why they're doing it, but to lay that money to a very select few is not, for the long-term part, going to keep the business going. So I understand the concerns. I have my own concerns, but this was decided way before the purse.
We might have
decided.
Do we
this meet? So did I lose you?
Yeah, I think you did. Go ahead and repeat just a little bit that you froze up there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, the California Crown Day was decided long before the purses were set up for this meet. So we're just going to have to go with this. But I do understand the concerns, and I have a lot of concerns myself.
John, let me ask you this. It's in business is always the bang for the buck, so to speak. Okay, do you think that the field that will be assembled for the California Crown and even the Eddie D is going to attract more competitive fields or more, I would say, accomplished horses than it would have if the purses stayed the same?
Maybe slightly. I don't think it's going to have a significant difference. I don't think, I haven't heard anybody saying we're dropping everything and going to California to run in these big races, because what it basically does is bring our stakes purse levels up to where they're running back east anyways. Mm-hmm. So unless you want to get out here to try and qualify for the Breeders' Cup and get a race in California, I don't see a lot of the guys from the East Coast saying, well, let's run out there and jump in and try and get part of this big money.
So that big money that's sitting there is only big money is going to be circulated on the horses that are on the circuit and probably would have run in those races anyhow. And that has got to irk even more the horsemen. If you're putting up that kind of money and you're not getting, some horses shipping in from East Coast, and we don't know yet because they haven't drawn for those races. But it seems to me that maybe they could be a little bit more diligent about how they use the money. And I know that they're putting up the money so they can put it anywhere they want. But if they're putting up the money, they ought to support the horsemen that support their races every day during the week and the weekends as well. Just an opinion, though, but we'll enjoy that day of racing anyhow. And they're talking about those purse cuts, and especially in Northern California, this is going to be a big subject matter on today's California Horse Racing Board meeting there. But I understand that Santa Anita might be coming up with some new bets as well.
Well, they're going to take over some of the bets that were part of the Golden Hour bets going between Golden Gate and Santa Anita. With Golden Gate no longer there, they are adding a $5 late double with a 15% takeout at Santa Anita. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a $3 pick three at Santa Anita with a 15% takeout. And there is some other bets, too, coming that are player-friendly. And I do agree with what they're doing here. They're trying to backload some of these other wagers at a discounted rate for the horse players. I think we'll go through that whole menu as we get closer. And there's a couple of specific wagers for California Crown Day that are also player-friendly. So that's a good move. I think that's something that's going to have a good effect, at least from the horse players and the standpoint, hey, they're trying to do something for us for a change out there. And we'll see. The only way we can help it is by responding by betting it.
Yeah, that's for sure. But we will be betting it. Now, with Golden Gate gone, the meat that's kind of taking up of some of the slack for Golden Gate being gone is obviously Pleasanton. And I understand that there's going to be a big decision about the purse money and stuff for Pleasanton today as well.
Yeah, there's a California Horse Racing Board meeting today. The agreement when they started all this plan to put in these racing days to Pleasanton was to distribute $170,000 per day in purses. Well, the Golden State Racing Group, the new group formed in Northern California, in their proposal wants to commit to $147,000 a day, which is not what was agreed to earlier. And they're just trying to be realistic, saying, hey, this is what we're pretty sure we can do. If we commit to $170 a day, we're going to create a deficit that we're going to have to deal with later. Mm-hmm. So they're going to talk about it at the California Horse Racing Board today, and hopefully they can come up with some type of agreement because that meet's supposed to start pretty soon. So they've got to get this in place, sign off on this so they can race.
All right. Well, we want you to drive safe and be here in studio tomorrow, and we will see you live and in person tomorrow here on the South Point set. Thanks.
Looking forward to it, Ralph. All right, have a good day.
All right, now we're going to go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by in his all-white get-up today, a white cap and his white shirt. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Ralph.
Well, my man, we've got the big Belmont at Aqueduct today with a nice little carryover in the pick six to kind of make it a kind of a neat start of a week at Belmont at Aqueduct. So what are we doing?
We're going to go to the fourth race, which would be the first leg of the pick six. And it's a tough race. It's certainly not a race you single. I mean, at least not to my eye. Mm-hmm. But I like Rocco Strong. I think he makes a very good key horse. And I'll use him first and second in my exactas. At 6-1, he's full of value, probably down to about 7-2, 4-1 in that range. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's a little bit of a tight race. I like some things about this horse being claimed and coming off the claim and going up in company. For that reason, and the slight turn back in distance going back to one turn makes this horse a little more likely to me. So I like the 4 horse in race number 4. That's easy, the 4 and the 4th. Mm-hmm. That'll be my win or win place bet. And then I'll play the 4 over the 1, 5, 7, and 8. Do my reverses 1, 5, 7, and 8 back over the 4. The 4, top out key at 5-1 or better.
All right, the 4 in the 4th race, Rocco Strong. The 4 with Dylan Davis, who, by the way, in the just started Belmont at Aqueduct meet, happens to lead the jockey standings there at Belmont at Aqueduct, at least through today. Dylan Davis rides the 4, Rocco Strong. The link-ups are 1, 5, 7, and 8 and reverse. And that's the play from Jerry in the 4th race, Rocco Strong, the 4 horses, the key, and the win bet. Do you have any bonus thoughts for us today?
Not really, Ralph. These were tough cards. I have another featured play in the 7th race for those people who get the Power Page Plus. That horse, again, it's not a single. It's probably a little bit of an underlay, but use that horse surely in your play.
All right, that's the 7th race. You have another feature play there. I see you have a pop-out key also in that race, right?
I have a pop-out key in the 9th.
Okay. The 7th race, that horse is a feature play then.
Yes. Okay. Oh, you know what? It's a pop-out key.
It's a pop. Yes, it is a pop.
Yeah, my glasses aren't so good.
Well, you got to clean them then, my man. I'm heading
back to the optometrist.
without being brazen enough to just completely correct you, since I could be wrong. But I see it as a pop-out key. In any case,
no, it is.
Yeah. In any case, the 7th race, and that's you're right. That's a horse. A little teaser. That's a horse that you should use.
As it happens, this whole pick six is a difficult one in terms of each race has a lot of competition.
So you think it might we're going to get a 2-day carryover? You think?
This is the kind that produce them, sure.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, make sure you get the Power Pages because he's got some key V horses, star horses, and of course pop-out keys, and of course the feature play that he gave us. And you can get
if you're not playing with the Power Page, in my mind, you're not thinking right.
Well, yes, I would think that is correct in your mind. And
that's just my mind.
And it's just correct in a lot of people's minds. That's for sure. The Power Pages, where can they get them? JerryJ'sPowerPage.com, right?
Correct.
All right, you got one more thing to say. Say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.